The only photo of my real father was hidden in an old Bible, and he found it the night my grandmother passed away. I was 27 years old, standing in her quiet house in rural Tennessee, sorting through her belongings when I opened a worn-out family Bible that had been sitting untouched on a shelf inside between the pages of Psalms. There was a single photograph, folded so many times it looked almost like a receipt. My hands started shaking the moment I unfolded it, because the man in the picture was holding a baby, and that baby looked exactly like me. The caption on the back said, "Your real father loves you, never forget." That helped my stomach drop, because I had been told my whole life that my father died when I was an infant. My mom said it was a car accident and that there were no photos left of him. I grew up believing that story completely. My stepfather raised me since I was 3 years old. He was strict but present. He coached my little league games, helped me with school, and always signed my report cards. But I always felt like there was a part of me missing, and now that feeling made sense. I went downstairs holding the photo and asked my muff. Them and was these cons she saw it. She went pale and told me to put it away. My stepfather came into the room and immediately asked where I found it. When I said the Bible, he looked like he had seen a ghost. My mother said it was complicated, but I demanded answers because my entire life suddenly felt like a lie. Then my stepfather finally said, "He's not your father, but he wanted to be." My world stopped. Apparently my mother met my biological father before Shiva met my stepfather. They were young and deeply in love, and my mother became pregnant. My biological father was Aita planned to marry her, but according to my mother, his family disapproved of her and pressured him to leave her behind. I could barely breathe as she told me this. Then she revealed something worse. After I was born, my biological father fought for custody but lost because he didn't have stable housing at the time. My mother said she was scared and overwhelmed, so she cut off contact completely and moved away with me. My stepfather entered her life 2 years later and raised me his own. She said she told him everything and they agreed to never bring it up again because Sethi wanted a stable life for me. I thought that was the end of it. Then I flipped the photo over again and noticed something I had missed. The handwriting on the back was different underneath the message. There was a second line written in faded ink. If you are reading this, it never stopped looking for you. I asked my mother what that meant and she broke down crying. She admitted that my biological father never stopped trying to contact her for years. His sent letter showed up at their old address and eventually through lawyers, but she refused to respond. She said she was afraid he would take me away. It felt angerizing because I realized I had been kept from someone who wanted me. Then my stepfather quietly pulled out an envelope from his jacket pocket. Inside were dozens of unopened letters all addressed to me from my biological father. My mother admitted she never gave them to me because she thought I would get confused and hurt. I opened one of the letters and read, "Happy 5th birthday, my son. I hope one day you will let me explain everything. I have never stopped loving you." I felt something break inside me. Then my stepfather said thing I will never forget. He said, "It may not be your biological father, but I chose you every single day of your life, and I hope still counts." I could not speak. I left the house that night and drove for hours trying to process everything. A week later, it racked down my biological father. He was living 2 states away working as a mechanic. When I was a whim for the first time, he looked nervous, like he was afraid I would reject him. But when he hugged me, he cried like he had been holding his breath for 27 years. We talked for hours and he showed me proof of every attempt, every mischance that was taken from him. The hardest part was realizing Noom was fully the villain in this story. My mother was scared, my stepfather was protective, my biological father was desperate, and I was the child caught in the middle of all their fear. Last Thanksgiving is a at table with both my stepfather and my biological father on opposite sides of me. For the first time in my life, I understood that family is not just about who's in the photo, it is about who never stopped trying to be in it. Would you start searching for your real father after finding a hidden photo that changes everything you thought you knew?